Hi YouTube, we're back. So I'm hitting a little late night back workout here at the Kilo Club in Vegas. It's been a minute since I came on to do kind of a vlog style, so I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit. My travel schedule's been absolutely crazy, and it's been nonstop. I've been in Boston, I was in Virginia last week, and then of course we have New York coming up. I'll be at the New York Pro, and then I'm gonna slide over while I'm there and go see my mom quick, just because I got to see her like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, and it's never enough to see your mom. So getting a little back workout in. Hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's following their workouts, and keep chasing your dreams, guys. All right, so let me get a little bit of filming here. I'm doing a little warm-up, starting with the famous Jay Cutler always starting exercise is the reverse grip pull downs. As you know, I always mimic the front over bicep with this. So get a nice pull in the lats. Mimic that front over bicep. So you guys have been following me on social media. I have a little bruising still, so I popped something, and I don't know what it is. So I had a little strain. I had Corey, my therapist, work it out a little bit. Next thing you know, I get in the gym when I was in Boston for the Cutler Classic at Gym Hub, and I'm doing a row and pop. Feel some fibers tear. So I didn't tear the bicep, but tore something, man. I think those 7 days a week training caught up to me a little bit. So I sit there and brag about how I'm Superman, but I gotta remember I'm over 50, so sometimes that's not the smartest thing to do, right? You gotta take that time and rest. I haven't been as consistent with the travel, with the therapy sessions, and that's kind of what saved my early bodybuilding career, was all that tissue work that I did. So I keep telling everyone, you got to stay with that. Don't fall out of your groove, and keep working on whatever get you to the place that you're at. And I always said that, I think I feel so good because of all that, extra work that I did, putting in, fascia stretching, taking care of my body. I read all these athletes to say they spend X amount of dollars on their body work and keeping their bodies active and responsive, and recovery. It's so important, right? So we always talk about training, but how much time we actually spend in recovery, that's a big question, right? So I'm going to pay a little closer attention and not make the mistake. Just try to keep my body in check. So this will be my heaviest set. It's just under 2 plates. Really just trying to get that squeeze. I was able to shoot. So I shot a video with Larry Wheels this morning. And it's funny because he was asking me how many carbs I ate, and we always talk about the calorie count. When I was at my biggest, man, eating 1,000 grams of carbs a day, and 300 plus grams of protein, 6 to 8 meals. I was really particular with the eating. And I think that consistency is really important for you guys that are trying to make the gains. We stress about the nutrition, but you also have to have the muscle and the ability to absorb that. So it's easy to eat 5,000 calories for people when their metabolism's fast and they're burning up a lot with training, or you hold a certain amount of muscle mass. So us pros, we brag constantly about how many calories we take in, but remember, that wasn't in the beginning. A lot of these early beginners or intermediate people, they compare themselves to the top Mr. Olympia people. And of course, I'm not even, being who I was, I'm not even close to those kind of calories anymore. 3,000 a day is like on a good day, right? And I eat 4 meals. And as it is, like, you know, my meal prep is done by MegaFit Meals. I'm very, very spoiled in that sense. I still cook a breakfast, but you know, most of the meals I eat is chicken rice or steak and rice or something that is more consistent, ground hamburger or ground turkey meat. I just try to keep it as consistent as possible, and that's really what keeps me kind of flowing in everything that I do. So I always talk about that consistencies, guys. I'm very transparent with what I do. You know, I try to show a lot of that cooking and how I cook things and, you know, how I prepare. You know, on the road, it's not easy. I try to stay at hotels that allows me to be able to eat the food and not deviate much from the program. Listen, I always love a good steak and baked potatoes and whatnot, but, you know, like the other night I went out to eat and I had fish, which you guys know I hate the fish if you've been following me for any amount of time. But I'll still eat it when it's necessary and not to, you know, do as much of the heavy meats. You know, I still have my protein shake, still have my egg whites in the morning, a couple whole eggs. But I wanted to do kind of a little catch up, meaning like get on here and kind of rap about what I got going on. And sorry for the uploads haven't been as consistent. I've just been extremely busy with what I've been doing, so I apologize. I'll get back to it once I can catch my breath a little bit. Like I said, I will have a video. Once Larry releases his video, I'll probably release that on the channel. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys so much, and I know everyone's working hard towards their goals, so don't make that early summer mistake. I'm gonna probably get back on before I finish up, but I want to get a little training in. But I just want to come on and I'm shooting this on the Osmo right now with the mic, so just want to come on and shout at you guys and tell you I appreciate you more than anything. You guys keep me driving every day, so we'll circle back in a minute. All right, so the famous dumbbell row. Supinating. Yeah, so let me get this thing to track me here. I don't think that last set was tracking, so I'll shoot another one. Wow. I always talk about how good the workouts are when you get a few meals inside. So I got about 4 meals, and I'm not gonna lie, I had In-N-Out burger today. I'm using these wraps because it's just easy to do it that way. Remember, the supination is everything with this. Had to catch my breath for a second, guys. One thing I'm trying to preach, especially after the injury and whatnot, is getting your sufficient rest. You know, when you travel like I do, and you know, you're from different time zone, you're on planes, dehydration, you know, your body can't run at full capacity. And sometimes when I get in the gym, I get in the workout so heavy that I forget, you know, I forget I'm not training for Olympias. That's the hard part about being me, guys. All right, so I'm gonna do this row machine, so it's kind of reverse grip. All right, so this I'll do 3 sets, 10 reps or so. This is kind of the Dorian Yates row. Big Steve over there. Missing Dennis Wolf. He used to be in here at night training with Dennis. I see them in here training. So I'm gonna finish with a little cardio. I've been just doing elliptical for like 20 minutes. And get this in, guys. So another one done. I want to just come on here, thank you guys once again for all the support. And keep following it, all right?